Happy New Year and welcome to the final Star Wars canon update for 2017. We've got plenty to talk about, so let's just dive in. If you still haven't seen The Last Jedi yet, I will be talking spoilers, so be warned. The Last Jedi Star Wars Episode 8 has been released. It was very divisive among fans, but obviously this is a must-see film. If you're watching the canon update, you care about Star Wars, so you can't miss a new movie. I've already done an extensive review that you can watch, but I'll just say that I liked it. There are aspects of it that I absolutely adore, but it wasn't my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. People are always clamoring for me to list my order, so here we go. A New Hope, Empire, Jedi, The Force Awakens, Rogue One and The Last Jedi are tied for me right now, Revenge of the Sith, The Phantom Menace, and Attack of the Clones. The Canto Bight tie-in book came out early in the month, and I found it to be a lot of fun. Not a must-read, but far better than I thought it would be. If you enjoyed the Old Legends Tales From series of books, you'll like this one a lot. It has 4 short stories featuring background characters from Canto Bight. The other book released last month was Cobalt Squadron, a middle-grade reader book following the bombers of Cobalt and Crimson Squadrons. It goes into the backstory for Rose and her sister Paige, and also explains why the bombers weren't seen in The Force Awakens. Both Canto Bight and Cobalt Squadron are available for free on Audible, and if that interests you, you can follow the link in the description to check them out. Yet another tie-in story came out last week in the comic Star Wars: The Storms of Crait. In between the events of episodes 4 and 5, the Rebels consider using Crait as their base before they set up on Hoth. Unfortunately, they're discovered by Scar Squadron, the elite stormtroopers. Wedge has an awesome moment, which he needs more of in the new canon, and the Rebels head off to continue their search for a base. Sticking with the main Star Wars comics, issue 40 continued the Ashes of Jedha arc. The Rebels stall Kyber mining on the moon, but not for long. Luke travels to where the Temple of the Kyber used to be to try to find some answers about the Force, and that's about all that happens this time around. Darth Vader issue 9, on the other hand, was crazy, in a good way. Vader starts fighting Jocasta Nu in the Jedi Archives, discovers that hidden area full of Sith artifacts, and destroys its guardian. Then Jocasta finds some lightsaber-powered gun and blasts him with it. I can see people finding the lightsaber gun to be stupid, but I actually thought it was awesome. Just another Kyber-powered weapon. Poe Dameron 22 showed us the first time Poe met Lor San Tekka as Leia and Black Squadron pull off a heist to free the old man from prison on Cato Nemoidia. Unfortunately, the First Order outwit them and capture Lor for themselves. This has been a fun story, but it suffers by us knowing that it can only end with Lor and Poe safe on Jakku. But this is a good way to show us how the First Order wound up on the same trail as the Resistance. The 5-issue series of Mace Windu comics came to an end in December, and like the rest of the series, I found it to be pretty lackluster. In November, we got some revelations about Mace and his time as an apprentice. I wished the whole series were like that. But this final issue did suggest that Mace was grateful for the Clone Wars because it gave him an outlet for his anger and violence. I would like to explore that side of Windu more, especially since The Last Jedi continued to point out the hubris and hypocrisy of the Jedi Order at this point in time. But overall, I just didn't connect with the story, the art style, or anything about the series. Star Wars Adventures 5 gets the same review from me as the past 4 issues. They're fine stories, but not even remotely must-reads, although Delilah Dawson wrote one of the stories this month, and I'm always a fan of her work. Also released this month were some young reader adaptations of The Last Jedi that I haven't read, and I normally don't cover reference books in the canon update, but the Visual Dictionary, Incredible Cross-Sections, Art of the Last Jedi, and Bomber Command all came out as well. As for Story of the Month, of course it would go to The Last Jedi by default, so I'm gonna instead give it to Darth Vader 9. That series has continued to have the craziest and most exciting moments every month. And since 2017 is over, I figured I'd do a Story of the Year call-out. Again, I'm leaving The Last Jedi out of consideration, so sticking with just books and comics and games, I think I'm going to give it to the book Thrawn. There were a ton of wonderful stories told in all kinds of media in 2017, but seeing Timothy Zahn's triumphant first story in the new canon was very special to me. In January, things seem to be slowing down a bit right after The Last Jedi, and we'll be getting 7 new comic issues. The canon update will return on February 1st to cover all of them. Until then, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out my Patreon page. As always, Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.